Yo, this is What If Deku had Cyrokinesis, Part 3. Now, the very last left off is the day of the sports festival, but we didn't get into it, and quite literally, we're just going to get past the sports festival and the Stain arc. So, yeah. Fourth video today, woohoo! So, uh, they would be in class, well, they would be on the bus towards the sports festival area. Now, Bakugo and Izuku would be sitting by each other. This is usual. But what's different about it is the fact that, Bakugo is sitting on Izuku. Kind of like how she is in the picture. That's all though. She's just sitting on Izuku, kissing him, making out with him, casual, for what they did. I ain't gonna say too much. Mina made everybody pay attention because they were sitting in the back. The back of the bus is where you do these things. Can't do it in the front. But, they ain't bothering nobody, so Aizawa didn't care. They get to the sports festival area, or wherever they are, and Midnight starts announcing everything, and Bakugo would still go up and say, "I'm going to win." That's all she says, and then walks back down. Now, the boys liked it. And I didn't mean class 1A, I meant in general. Because it was a girl who was confident. Now, if Katsuki was a guy and said this, everybody would have been mad. But nah, it's a girl. They are simps. But Midnight would spin the wheel. And no, it wouldn't be an obstacle race. I'm doing it different. We're doing it different here. It would be a chess match. Yes, a chess match. I'm not going over chess. I don't know how to play chess, but it's going to be a chess match. So everybody would get set up, and you would keep going until you end the top 40. Until the 40 people remaining. That's just how it went, Everybody was surprised it was chess, because usually it's some physical activity, but hey, it's different this year. So, Izuku was going up against a no-name. I had a name, of course, I just not thinking of anybody. And everyone else, Izuku and no-name, Izuku has a plan with no-name. And this plan was basically that, hey, yo, no-name, what we gonna do is we just gonna run the time. And so that's exactly what they did. They ran the time. And so everybody in Canning got into the next round. It's not the cavalry battle, I think it was called. It's not that one. Nah. We're gonna be doing it different. I thought of the chess one beforehand. I'm thinking of this right here on the spot. Quite literally, it's to grab a team of 4. Izuku would be grabbing Bakugo, Mei, because Mei is persistent, and let's just go with Tokiyami. Keep it canon. Except Uraka, I don't really... Nah, you can go with Ida. But yeah, Bakugo, Mei because he's resistant, and Tokiyami because it's Tokiyami. And the thing that I'm thinking of right now, that I really didn't think of and I don't know what to say now, will be a planking. You have to plank on top of each... No. Let's make it different. You have to stand, and someone has to stand on you, and someone has to stand on you, and someone has to stand on you. And I mean stand, so you can't hold them. They have to stand there. So, Izuku... No. It's day. So, right, it's day, so... Tokiyami would be at the bottom and would use Dark Shadow to carry them. Like, they have to be standing on Dark Shadow, though. But Dark Shadow can be standing like a platform. And they asked Midnight if it was allowed. It was allowed, so they all just stood on Dark Shadow. And it wasn't any extra weight to Tokiyami, so guess who won? They did. The teams in canon won, obviously, but yeah, it may not be as long as the other what is who go with the normal route, but that's the problem. It's normal. We don't want normal. I'm gonna do normal for my next one, but we don't want normal this one. But of course, you gotta go for the finals, right? Now, Izuku versus Shinzo. He would get the warning by Ojiro, so Izuku would be like, haha, I got my mouth shut. Until Shinzo started talking about, what's her face? Female Bakugo, Katsuki. But Deku, he was like, nah, I ain't talking. What he did was he grabbed an ice spear. Now Shinzo knew, oh, I fucked up. But nah, Shinzo's fine, he ain't gonna die. The ice spear seemed to dull at the end. And then he threw it at Shinzo. Shinzo got hit in the chest. It didn't hurt though. What it did was stuck him to the floor. Completely captured, but Shinzo was moving. Like, he made just enough space so Shinzo can try to break out, but he couldn't. No matter how much he tried, he couldn't. And then he walked up to Shinzo and gave him a speech like, look at all those people. Just happy that you made it here. Shinzo, you can be a hero too. I believe in you. Some Deku's speech, I don't know. But he then proceeded to actually encapsulate Shinzo so he can't move anymore. And Deku won. Let's move on to the more interesting fight. Ochako versus Katsuki. Katsuki doesn't like Ochako at all. Like, Ochako has made moves on Deku. Flashback. Okay, so they're in class right now. Bakugo went to the nurse. Well, she had to take Kirishima to the nurse. No, let's say she had to take Mineta to the nurse because Mineta almost died. And because Katsuki caused it, she has to deal with it. She's not in trouble because it's Mineta and he was being a pervert. Deku was hitting on Uraka. Now, it was very obvious he was ignoring it. So when Katsuki came back, she could see that Deku was ignoring it, and just being nice. And so she exploded her in her ear, and said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking of Mineta, and you were just in my way. I'm sorry." So she sat down where her seat was, right beside Deku. She said it was cool, and then walked back to her seat. Everybody knows why she did it. They weren't dating at the time, though. I will say they weren't dating at the time. So she bullied Uraka. Like, Katsuki bullied Uraka. People didn't like that, but hey, she hit on her mans. So, what you gonna do? Next fight, Izuku versus Shoto. Ice versus ice, but one ice has fire, but doesn't use it. And so who wins? Izuku, obviously. Like, what kind of question is that? I'm kidding. He wants Shoto to use his fire, though, so he kind of, like, continues just doing the same thing he did in canon. Except he uses ice to break the other ice. No, let's make this hurt more. Ooh, I just unplugged up my fan. Anyway. He manipulated Todoroki's ice just to attack him. Eventually, Todoroki couldn't do it anymore. And he just gave a speech. Todoroki at first thought, oh, my father put you up to this? Yes and no. I don't care about your father that he's Endeavor. What I care about right now is that you use your full power. You can't be using your half power. People try all hard and the same speech. I don't know what I could say. But eventually, Todoroki smiled and said, you can't be saying that things when you're not going all out. And started, and the same thing in Canada. I really don't remember what they said exactly, okay? But, casual with it, he started using his fire. And then they both jumped up, and what Izuku did was surround himself in ice. But no one saw this, because all the fire and everything was going around the smoke. No one saw what happened, besides the fact that they clashed, and Midnight and Cementos tried to stop it. But who ended up being the victor? Izuku, who was standing there with his shirt off, pants cut into jorts, but it was sweatpants kind of. His pants turned into shorts that time, and he didn't have a shirt on. I can't speak today. And yeah, Todoroki lost because he was knocked out. And when he got back up to class, to his area, they asked how he looked so fine. like that, and fine in literal event, Bucko didn't like that, and nearly exploded everybody. But he said, "Oh, I put myself in ice armor, and then attacked, and I unplugged another piece of my room." Okay, anyway, last fight that we want: Izuku versus Momo. Nope, Katsuki. Now, this is a very anticipated fight for Class 1A. Not so much for the crowd, but at the same time, it's the final fight. It's going to be good. Now, at first, they swap in hands. And the obvious winner to the swap in hands part is Izuku. Now, they swap in quirks. And the obvious winner to the swap in quirks part is no one. Like, no, I'm kidding, Katsuki. But then, it was just quirks. Now, they do them both. They swap in hands and quirks. And it seems to be perfectly equal. Like, no one is stronger than anyone, right? And then Katsuki just, alright, let me kick it up a notch. And Izuku just sighed, like, ugh. And he could kick it up a notch. But at that point, he would be going overtime. He was already going 100%. So, the battle started to turn in Katsuki's favor, and then he pushed Katsuki back with this power, and just like, alright, now let me kick it up a notch. And then he lifted one arm up. And everyone was like, what is he doing? Until they saw a wave of water jump over the arena. And Katsuki says, so you have water manipulation. Great. He took it from a nearby pond, by the way. Now he's fine with ice and water consecutively. Which, yeah, it goes right back to you. And President Mike was like, who is stronger out of these two strong motherfuckers? Like, but he stopped. But no, he doesn't stop himself. Aizawa stops President Mike because there's kids watching. But he was like, oh my god, who is stronger? They both stopped. Everyone stops. And then I was like, alright then. Final attack, strongest attack is this. Well then, Katsuki is preparing up Nuke. Her ultimate move is literally called Nuke. She has many ultimate moves, but it goes by levels like a genuine nuke. So like nuke at its weakest level. Actually, I'm gonna say she got up to the point where she can do a nuke of the second level. So I don't know the classification, so don't ask me. And wait, I said they can already destroy all of Japan. No, like just a Japan level. Now submit to us, and the steam, the explosion coming off from preparing that attack. Yeah, what's her face? Midnight sleep gas wouldn't get to them. She tried, it wouldn't. So Mentor just covered the crowd, and Nezu's smart as crap. He prepared this. The thing started moving out, and they didn't care. And just as they were launching it, they both yelled ultimate move. Katsuki said nuke, whatever the second level is called. And Deku said absolute zero. You can adjust the power, but absolute zero. And my god, when I tell you, this is way longer than I thought it would be. But Deku and Katsuki's most powerful move clashed. It ended in a stalemate. But at the end of the day, it's like they called it off. Like, they said, no, it's done. But they kept going, like, it is done. It's just, alright, whatever. Let's just see who wins after this. After, like, all the explosions and ice sparkles or whatever was done, Nezu waited a whole another minute because there were kept occasional pops. Because if we go up to them, they were still fighting. Like, they was fighting for consciousness, throwing ice, or throwing water, throwing explosions, or wind pressure. Bruh, like, it was a fight. And they had cameras up, Nezu had cameras up there, and they could see TVs fighting up there. Like, yo, what is happening? Like, they fighting hard. Because if he didn't fight because that was his girlfriend or whatever, oh, he wouldn't have had a good time. That wouldn't be a good time. But, yeah. At the end of the day, they both knock themselves out. I told you, they equal strength. None of them's winning if they both going all out. And then the ring lowers, the walls, protective walls lower, casual, right? The crowd is, like, ecstatic. They don't care that it ended in a draw, bro. That was the best fight in all of UA history. Like, they poke strong. But, casual with it, right? When they wake up, if they can move, which barely, but with a little bit of assistance, they get to the podium. Both Izuku and Bakugo share the podium. Todoroki in second, and Tokoyami in third. Real casual with it. All Might gave the medals, which, hey, that only made it better. All Might's giving the medals. A bomb fight for the last fight. Like, bruh, I don't know how next year gonna top it, but hey, this is the best event in the world, right, bro? This is it quite literally, the fight went trending for 2 weeks. The fight was anything anybody could talk about. Izuku and Bakugo couldn't go outside for the first 2 weeks. Like, they couldn't get to school without using their quirks, and people with flying quirks, and they, like, even if they flew, they couldn't, like, use their quirks to fly. Bakugo using explosions and Izuku using ice propellant somehow. They couldn't get to school because people could fly with their quirks, and it was mutations, so the law can't do anything. Like, the first 2 weeks, yeah, Izuku and Bakugo were excused for the first 2 weeks. But after they was able to ride the train, they had to talk to a lot of people, sign a lot of things, and yeah, that was just a whole hassle. When we got to school, both Bakugo and Izuku look incredibly drained. And then as I was saying, well, that's what you get for doing too much. But anyway, everyone picked out hero names while you were gone, and what internship they were going to. We're going to it today. Well, today, we already sent a lot of them. You only have a few choices to go to now, and your hero name. So, choose it right now. Just say it. Don't have time for it. So Bakugo would go with Ground Zero. And you may be saying, like, oh my god, spoiler, I actually don't know. People say that's what Bakugo chose in canon. I don't actually remember. Because I actually don't know. I'm not remember. I don't know. Because I don't read the manga. I go by the anime. Which the current episode of the anime out, which is episode 16, season 5. And Bakugo hasn't chosen a hero name yet, so I can't say anything yet. Sorry. But Deku, he wouldn't choose nothing like Sub-Zero. Like, he wouldn't choose that. He would simply choose Ice Phoenix. Actually, no. I'm going to say that for Todoroki. Todoroki, when he does choose a hero name, would be Ice Phoenix. Because that's just a sick name. So, you know what? Yeah, Ice Phoenix. That's what Todoroki chose. Because in honor of Izuku making him use his fire, hey, I'm going to be Ice Phoenix. Deku, on the other hand, just chose the cold hero, the ice hero, Sub-Zero. Alright, whoever owns the rights to Sub-Zero in Mortal Kombat, I'm not using any of Sub-Zero's powers or anything, just whatever. I used your name. Jesus Christ, I couldn't think of anything. I don't want to use Deku. But yeah, and then Bakugo chose Gran Torino. Izuku chose Gran Torino. They both got trained by All Might, so whatever. So, continue forward. They both get trained by Gran Torino. Bakugo's focused though. Bakugo's a focus. Izuku doesn't really care. They're not trained on using their quirks. Bakugo's trained on using their quirk better, slightly, but they're mostly trained on actual combat. Because they realize, hey, Gran Torino's like, they're both good at using their quirk and actual combat, but they need more experience with combat. So they did a lot of patrols this time because they were already really strong. Let's skip to the Ida event. So when they're on the train to go to Hosu City to do some more dangerous patrolling, what would happen is a gnome would burst through, and Gran Torino would say, "I got this," and Deku would yell, "Aim for the head," and then both him and Katsuki would leave and help take down villains, which they don't get caught. Let's just say that, yeah, they don't get caught. But then he would just come across Ida and about to get stabbed, and he sent a wave of ice towards Stain that perfectly went over Ida. And Stain just said, "Well, you just killed the person you were trying to save." He picked up the ice with manipulation and shot it at Stain, but Stain saw a glimpse that Ida was perfectly fine, and then got a glimpse and remembered those two faces because Bakugo was there. So it's the two sports festival winners. It's like, and it said he's like, "I can't beat them unless I get a cut. Otherwise, they're too strong." And that's just got this short. He got mollywopped, but I will say he put up a good effort. He did get Bakugo with a slight cut to the ear, but actually no. Let's say he got Bakugo with a cut, but the cut wasn't deep enough to draw blood. But for him getting just that close, he got knocked out because of it. Bakugo did an explosion to his neck. Could have killed him, but knocked him out. They saved the two heroes. They saved the hero and then Ida. Deku would still get captured by the, Noma. The Noma got stabbed in the head with ice, and he fell down like it didn't happen. And Boom Boom Tastic, they would be in the hospital now. Well, Ida would. And Ida is visited by Shoto, and I'm afraid, let's say Shoto was there and helped just a little bit. Was visited by Shoto, Izuku, and Katsuki. I was about to say Katsumi. Katsuki, so he basically got berated for being an idiot. Idiot. Very big idiot. I don't know what else to say about that. And now, we're gonna end that off. And this was a 22-minute video. Nice. We're gonna end it off. Yeah, nothing else to say besides peace.